Hello, everybody. Hi. Welcome to the show again, and hope you're having a great day, everyone. And Merry Christmas, of course, to everybody out there, right? Now, welcome to episode number 46, right? Today, since it's Christmas Day, I want to do something different, and also we are so close to the new year of 2019, right? I want to actually give my hypothesis on Bitcoin price prediction for year of 2019, yeah? But first up, I actually want to give the reasons because I am bullish overall on Bitcoin in 2019. Yeah. And I'm going to give you the reasons first, and then I'm going to end it with a price prediction. Yeah. First up, right, I have basically four reasons to say why I'm so bullish on Bitcoin for the year of 2019. One is we're going to expect to see, right, institutions coming in, right, hordes of institutions coming in that will drive the rally first. Second, regulations will become much more clearer and, will be pro crypto. Yeah. Third is basically we'll see even increasing adoption of cryptocurrency and especially starting with Bitcoin. And the fourth is education, and awareness will continue to be increased, especially, I think starting 2019. Now, the thing is, first up, I really want to clarify first, right? And this is purely my opinion. I am not any, expert advisor, financial advisor. I'm not any financial advisor. So please do your own research, right? And right, this is just to emphasize this is my opinion, right? And yeah, but I'm trying to back it up with all the evidence I can see. But of course, right, still investing is really your pure it's a very personal decision, right? And what I say may not apply to your personal needs or your personal situation or your objectives. So please, right, this is just again my personal opinion, not financial advice. Okay, with that clear out of the way, I just want to again reiterate the 4 points, right? First point is actually institutions coming in and embrace this asset class, especially starting with Bitcoin. Let's see why is that, right? So I have a news article actually back in August 2018, right? You have NYSE owner who is ICE. NYSE is actually New York Stock Exchange. They're the largest stock exchange in the world, right? For those of you who don't know, they're the largest stock exchange in the world. And ICE is their owner, Intercontinental Exchange, called ICE, right? ICE owns a New York Stock Exchange, and the founder and the CEO of ICE is actually Jeff Pratchett, who actually, right, is going to launch BACT, BAKKT. And scheduled launch date was supposed to be December 12th, 2018, but now it's been pushed back to January 24th, 2019, because they want to ensure that a lot of their products launches will go smoothly. So hence the delay. Yeah. But having said that, right, so the thing is this, right, there was an article back in August 2018 that actually quote, Jeff Pratchett that says Bitcoin could be world's first worldwide currency. And that's huge, right? Because, no one actually have come out and said such positive news before. And, no one, is really highlighting this kind of news anywhere, right? Because, again, the mainstream news is meant to scare off people, but this is huge, right? The thing is this, right? Jeff Pratchett, he is also a very prominent person in the financial industry, because what happened was he was the person who actually, right, innovated the whole industry from it used to be, just outcry system where the traders just shout across trading floors of their price and their order transactions to a modernized, electronic, very efficient automated system. He was the guy, right? Jeff Pratchett, he was the guy who actually successfully made this switch. And NYSE ICE itself, right, and New York Stock Exchange is a very profitable company, right, with also very strong growth year on year. So he, basically is a very strong person who definitely can execute and deliver on his plans, on his vision. So now he wants to actually, right, do very amazing things on cryptocurrency, starting with Bitcoin specifically. And basically BACT, right, there are a few features that they're going to offer. First phase of their offerings will basically be institutional targeted, and they want to basically have a futures contract But the key difference is, what is the key difference of backed versus the futures that we already have today, is that the backed futures contract will be physically delivered. And physically delivered means, right, they need to have, they need to buy physical Bitcoin from the market, yeah, to actually deliver on those promises, because they need to make sure there's enough stocks in their warehouses. So they are also going to safeguard all this, stocks of Bitcoin in their warehouses to just, deliver on the on all these contracts, yeah. And of course, they will charge the trading fees, and they will also earn the warehousing or the safekeeping fees of all these Bitcoins. So basically, now the thing is, with such a strong, how do I say, Wall Street name, Wall Street traditional name, such a credible firm behind it, right, behind Bitcoin, basically that it lends a lot of credibility, right? And basically, institutions, especially like pension funds, hedge funds, endowment funds, right, university endowment funds, those high net worth people, family offices, all these people, right, they basically, it'd be great, right, if they have a backing of a trusted institutions like, ICE and New York Stock Exchange behind all this. And, plus with a strong, talented individual, Jeff Pratchett, running the show, right, and his wife as well, who's going to be the CEO of Bakkt. Yeah. So this husband and wife team, basically, they are going to, they are very strong track record in their own business in ICE and New York Stock Exchange. Hence, right, for them to actually take on the leadership of Bakkt, right, it is definitely very promising. So as I said, first phase is basically targeting the institutions, and what do they need is basically then they need to they need to acquire a lot of Bitcoins, right? And as we know, there's only a very limited, there's only 21 million units, and currently there's only 17.4 million units that's already in circulation, right? 4 more units still need to be mined over the rest of the years, right, till year 2140. Yeah, so that's definitely not enough to go around. So that's why, with limited supply, if demand goes up, it will drive the price of Bitcoin up. Yeah. Of course, the other thing is this: not only, right, ICE is targeting the not only Bakkt is targeting the BAKKT, not only Bakkt is targeting the institutions, right, to actually earn the trading and the custody fees. They also want to actually, right, be the on-ramp, right? So basically, like a bridge, right? A very credible bridge between the cryptocurrency and merchants and also consumers. And how they do this is, before even their launch, they already have signed on very prominent large partners like Starbucks and Microsoft, right? Now, Starbucks, what they plan to do then is, because they said it is going to be an on-ramp between merchants and consumers, right? It is then expected that basically Starbucks will, accept cryptocurrencies, right? And it will change it into fiat. And basically, all this will be facilitated by Bakkt, BAKKT. Yeah. So that is huge news, because again, there's a lot of how do I say, criticism of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies that says, right, it's not money because you cannot even use it to buy everyday goods. But now, right, if Starbucks really were to, offer, or if they accept cryptocurrencies, if they accept Bitcoin as a form of payment in all their Starbucks, or even just starting in the US, right, this will mean huge news. Then other merchants will also start to, be aware, oh, what is this, right? And they will be caught on. Then they will think, oh, if Starbucks is willing to accept, right, why don't I? There must be benefits. And of course, right, why is the Bakkt doing this? They really see that the next generation, the millennials, are very comfortable going to be using Bitcoin in their daily transactions, right? We also have seen like bloggers, right, being very comfortable. And who are the bloggers? It's really the new generations, yeah. And so the thing is this, right? And of course, then the other thing is this, on this adoption point, right? Okay, sorry, let's just focus on the institutions first. I got carried away, right? So first is actually, so the Bitcoin could be world's first worldwide currency, and this will be huge. I'm not going to go through the article. You can go through it if you want, right? But basically, I just want to quickly go through my points, right, to support why I'm so positive, why I'm so bullish on Bitcoin in 2019. Now, this next article, this is in CNBC, is new Starbucks partnership with Microsoft allows customers to pay frappuccinos with Bitcoin. Starbucks is partnering with Microsoft and ICE on a new cryptocurrency platform called Bakkt, aimed at consumer use. It's very big news for Bitcoin because people say, where can you spend it? Now at every single Starbucks, right? Not yet, but it's going to most likely happen in 2019. But first phase, when they launch, it's going to be first, it will be the physical delivered Bitcoin futures. That's what they're going to deliver first, right? And I believe not long after that, they will have this because honestly, they already signed on partners already, yeah? So next actually is again in Forbes article is also highlighting this is also in August. New backed venture could make Bitcoin as mainstream as Starbucks, and this is again huge. First you have people say first worldwide currency and then mainstream as Starbucks, right? Yeah. Also in the tune, of institutions, right? Not long ago, this is just in December, amidst all these Bitcoin prices crashing more than 80%, right? It's from the peak of 20,000 to now about 4,000. You have very strong names on Wall Street like Fidelity, Nasdaq, and also TD Ameritrade. Yeah, basically investing into a new cryptocurrency exchange called ErisX, and they're going to start trading in also early 2019. That is expected in Q1 2019. First, they're going to do a spot trading of just the major currencies, and that will definitely include Bitcoin. And then they're also going to offer futures trading. And again, why is this huge right now? We already have a lot of cryptocurrency exchanges that are already doing very well. But again, these are not bank backed, right? And that is very important. Now, the banks, as usual, the banks are very good at smelling the money. And of course, they want to have every chance in getting the money. But in the case of cryptocurrencies, they are a bit late into the game. So, but still, nevertheless, they still want to, join the bandwagon. And now that's why they are forming their own bank-backed, cryptocurrency exchange, and that will definitely give more credibility, so to attract more the institutions customers. Don't forget, people like Fidelity, right? Who manage over $7 trillion in assets. They are the one of the top five largest, asset management firms in the world, right? And Nasdaq, of course, is the stock exchange, and TD Ameritrade is one of the biggest stockbroker in US as well, and they definitely have already a lot of institutions customers on their traditional business. So for them to target and cross-sell cryptocurrency trading to them, it's definitely going to be much easier, right? Because they don't need to open another accounts anymore. They already have a lot of the KYC records, right? KYC stands for Know Your Customer Records. So they don't really need to do a lot of onboarding that will take time, right? And of course, these are very credible names. They have, they have a lot of track record executing huge amount of trades without error. Definitely, they will lend a lot of credibility, and the institutions will most likely go with, all this bank-backed cryptocurrency exchange, right? So, again, why are they setting up? Why are all these firms, putting their money and resources behind something if they don't believe in Bitcoin, right? Do you think they will actually put their money and resources behind, right? Don't forget they can also invest in other things. So there is an opportunity cost as well, yeah? And of course, on top of that, we also have, Nasdaq investing in a new crypto exchange, but Nasdaq itself, they are also planning to launch their own Bitcoin futures, and that's going to be next year as well, first quarter of next year as well. So don't you see it's very interesting? Everything is happened around 2019 quarter one, yeah? And the other thing is Fidelity. This is the news is in October. So this is again amidst the year-long crypto bearish market that we have. They are actually going to offer custody solutions for cryptocurrencies. Custody has long been one of the pain, right? That basically discourage a lot of institutions from getting involved in cryptocurrencies however much they like. So that's why that's the other thing. The first rally in basically end 2017 led by Bitcoin and then other cryptocurrencies also followed is driven, and all the beneficiaries are all retail investors. Basically, institutions are not in the game. They did not benefit at all from that rally. Now, the thing is this, right? So the thing is this, it is a rumor in the market that basically they basically, right, need to ensure that they get into the market as well. And it could be a high possibility, right, that they don't directly manipulate the market and to cause this long winter, but they could manipulate the mainstream news, which a lot of them is under their control, right, to make sure that the mainstream news that targeting the mass people, laymen on the street, are putting all the bad news, whereas all this kind of good news, right, are only in very, very, how do I say, very selective news outlets like Forbes, like Fortunes, like CNBC, which is not read by everyone, yeah. And even then, they don't run the news so much and don't quote it so much, right, that people will not remember, like, a lot of people will not know that, ICE, the Jeff Pratcher, right, who is the ICE owner, NYSE owner, actually said Bitcoin could be a first worldwide currency. That will be huge, right? So yeah, so that's the other thing. So the institutions, I foresee that basically, right, they make sure this year they are basically in a winter, so the enough time, right, for them to get into cryptocurrencies in a cheap price. And then, right, next year all these things will launch all at the same time in Q1. That's when the prices then is allowed to rally. Yeah. Next up, also Goldman Sachs, of course the number one investment banks on Wall Street. They what did they do? They also, right, go deep into cryptocurrency. They basically invested in a startup called BitGo, with billionaire Mike Novogratz. Now, Mike Novogratz is also formerly a partner in Goldman Sachs. Yeah, so basically Goldman, right, and its former partner invest together in BitGo. BitGo is basically again also offering a custody solutions for cryptocurrencies. And who needs custody is really the institutions, right? You and me, we don't need custody. We can keep our own coins in our cold wallets, no problem, right? But custody is really a requirement for institutions. So definitely they are, expecting the institutions to come in, and there must be a lot of institutions demand, right? And we have seen some of those surveys as well. Reuters also have done a survey in mid this year, 2018, that says that 20% of financial institutions said they're actually interested to trade cryptocurrencies, and of course Bitcoin will be the branded one. I mean, for these institutions, right, which are the cryptocurrencies that they're going to go into? Definitely Bitcoin, because it has the longest history, it has an established brand name, it has been dominating the market cap of overall cryptocurrencies over 50% for a long time now. And for institutions, they will first really go with those which are really branded, those really which are the most stable of the risky asset class, right? So Bitcoin really fits the criteria then. So there you have it, right? Basically, it's all the institutions, all these great news, right? All the big names in the industry going into cryptocurrency, investing time and money. I don't think they will invest in something if they think, right, that will actually become trash in the future. They will become, go down to zero or even $100 in the future. I really don't think so. Yeah. Okay. Second thing is then basically regulations, right? Another thing that is very important for institutions to go into this market is that they need to have clearer regulations. And we have already seen a lot of countries, right, are basically coming up with regulations on cryptocurrencies, on taxation, on initial coin offerings, right, of cryptocurrencies. So this is actually all good news. And most recently, I think it was just last week, US also have two congressmen that are pro crypto, and they said, that they actually want to have regulations that are pro, basically foster innovation in the industry, similar to what they have for the internet, back in 1994, 1995, right? And of course, we have also seen Donald Trump, right, adding people who are very pro crypto into his administration. Yeah. So that's the second point. The third one is actually we continue to see adoption, right, increasing day by day, right? We have so much news, right? We're just trying to recall all of them. It basically happened all in this year, yeah. One is we have the crypto ATMs that's basically going to be expanding in installations around the globe, right? So that will basically make it very easy for anyone to buy cryptocurrency easily. Second is that we have already seen a lot of bloggers, right? A lot of the millennials, right? People on Twitter survey actually, right, ask very open, and in fact they want cryptocurrencies and of course like Bitcoin, yeah. What else? And I'm also just thinking, okay, of course, then you see when you have when Starbucks, right, if and when, now the thing is, if and when backed really, a partner with no, they already partner with Starbucks, and when Starbucks accept cryptocurrencies for to buy coffee, then right, we should expect other major firms, right, like Amazon, for example, then they will accept cryptocurrencies. Then that would be very great news. Already, right, we have seen e-commerce firm that is big in the Southeast Asia called QOO10. They already have their own cryptocurrencies as it's going to launch in 1st Jan 2019, where they're going to where they're going to have another website just targeting people who want to use their cryptocurrencies to buy goods on their website. Similar look and feel, but the goods on this website that accept cryptocurrencies, they call it Cube, I believe, will be cheaper. So basically then it gives an incentive for people to actually use this new exchange, but they will have to use their cryptocurrency, yeah. So again, all these news will be very positive again, for overall cryptocurrency. And of course, Bitcoin will definitely gain. Whenever there's big news for cryptocurrency, Bitcoin will again, of course, gain. They will basically benefit from the price upswing as well. Yes, so that's that. And why the other thing, why I say Amazon is that, right? Tim Draper, who is a venture capitalist, who is a billionaire venture capitalist, months ago, right, even before the backed news said that they have partnered with Starbucks, he already mentioned something like, he is predicting a 200K Bitcoin prices by 2022. And he's basically saying that, he actually made one sentence that says, right, people will laugh at you, if next few years, if you go into buy a coffee and if you don't use cryptocurrency, this is very interesting why he said that even despite before all these Starbucks partnership come into announcements. But the most recent news is that, right, he also invested more money into OpenNotes, which is a payment processor for cryptocurrency. And also, he then now mentioned that, it'd be great, he said if Amazon comes into the picture, right, he basically linked Amazon and cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. So then, basically then, there is then a rumor as well, right, that perhaps he knows something because rich people always are more in the know, they're more in the connected world. And basically they talk to each other, right? They talk to the rich people, so they might know something that we don't, right? And Amazon could be, right, getting into this cryptocurrency. They could accept cryptocurrencies in the near future. We don't know that, but it could happen, right? Not sure that it could happen in 2019, but you never know, yeah? So that's, again, it will drive adoption as well. Then, of course, we have also news that Facebook Coin, Facebook is actually launching their own cryptocurrency, yeah, and they're going to target the remittance market in India, which is a country that's not that they have no clear regulations on crypto. So again, it will be all very positive again, yeah. So then, right, so we have talked on 3 already. So we have talked institutions, regulations, and adoption. And of course, sorry, one more adoption point is the Lightning Network for Bitcoin, right? Lightning Network already have seen a lot of progress this year itself. And next year, right, hopefully it can then be rolled out into actual use cases more. Then it will be really good news for the overall Bitcoin upswing, yeah. Last one is I foresee that there will be much more education avenue open up for cryptocurrency and especially for Bitcoin, because normally people will know Bitcoin first. So I think, right, there will be education will start, and then basically Bitcoin will be the one that will be basically the easiest to understand because that one has the clearest use case and also the longest history, right? So people can actually see it happening, yeah. So yes, and already we have seen, right, like Coinbase, they have actually started to reward people to actually learn about cryptocurrencies in their website, right? Yeah, and also we have seen that in Nigeria, right, there are firms offering education on cryptocurrencies. So Binance as well, they have, all these research papers on cryptocurrencies, basically just to make sure, the community is very well aware. So I think basically then what happens is then that, in summary, my point is that, or my opinion is really that, right, The last rally is driven by retail investors who are unsophisticated largely. People basically, they went to buying cryptocurrencies because they heard someone else is buying as well, and they don't want to miss out, fear of missing out, FOMO. The next phase, right, will be really driven by will expected to be driven by institutions because of all the players, setting up all the platform, and they are definitely preparing for that. And also they lend a lot of credibility, like BACS, right? Basically, Intercontinental Exchange, New York Stock Exchange, right? Nasdaq, ErisX, which is backed by TD Ameritrade. Who is the other one? The TD Ameritrade, and also Fidelity, right? Fidelity having their own custody solutions, Goldman Sachs investing in custody solutions, BitGo, right? All this, yeah. And also the other thing is this: we have also news that day, the one firm control over 1% of Bitcoin already in existence. So, so all this will basically become into much more open, right? More and more news like this will be opened up more in 2019 because almost all of the institutional investments is happening in 2019. Now, my hypothesis then is that if Q1, all these things happen, BACS launch their, one day futures contract that's physically settled, and Nasdaq also launched their exchange, and also the ErisX also start to operate, right? And all this, right, I think basically then Bitcoin will rally up to, I would think, about $10,000, 10,000 USD per Bitcoin level. Yeah. And after that, if all, because if they launch and then there's very good demand from institutions, right? And all this then will start a rally that basically bring a lot of attention to it. And then also we might see more Wall Street firms, coming into offering. Probably more of them will announce that they're going to, offer more cryptocurrency products and solutions and so forth. Then that will drive up further, and then that will drive up the rally. And then we will probably also see then the investors coming in, because then they realize, oh, now institutions are coming and the prices are going up. Then this is probably the time that they buy, because normally, right, all these retail investors will buy only when prices are going up. Because unfortunately, it is very sad that, there are not so many of them who are really in the know, right, who really keep up with all these I would say important insights that really somehow is still not, people who don't follow crypto news on a very frequent basis, you really will miss out, because if you look at mainstream news, you really don't catch all this information, yeah. And I would then see by the end of 2019, right, Bitcoin could range from 20,000 USD, which is its previous peak in early 2018, or even 25,000 if we have, news like Amazon offering, if Amazon accept cryptocurrency, Bitcoin as well. That will be really great news. So that's where my hypothesis is. Again, I just want to, say this is my personal opinion. So I see, right, if all the positive developments happen as they claim, right, 10,000 by around Q1 2019, and end the year between 20,000 to 25,000, depending on how many more positive, developments take place. Yeah. So again, this is my personal advice. But anyway, I hope you have a great day. Hope you enjoy the rest of this Christmas day, right? And live with high energy, live with passion. And thank you so much for all of you who are watching. And if you like this episode, please consider subscribing, leave a like, right? And leave your comments on what you would like to see in the future. And also feel free to share this, right, with people who you think, right, probably are not in the know yet on cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. Thank you so much for your time again. Hope you spend the rest of your holiday, right, in a great festive, joyous mode, right? And thank you so much for watching again.